Welcome to icCube's introductory video on data rendering. This video will show how to set rendering on your widgets. Let's start with what data rendering means. It's the configuration of your widget's layout, meaning from color palettes to setting the legend, adding a scroll bar or cursor, setting the format of your values, etc. These data render configurations are available on the tab with the graph icon. Please note that data render options may vary among widgets. These configuration fields can be similar or completely different from a widget to another. For example of the latter case, let's check below how the data render tabs for pies look like. You have inner radius, balloon formats, etc. On the other hand, the data render tab for a Google map looks completely different, with its center, latitude and longitude, the layer type, and so on. So don't be surprised if fields do not look alike from one widget to the other. It just means that each one has its very own configurations and properties. Without those data render configuration possibilities, a search bar on top of the editor is available for quickly finding configuration fields you're looking for. It is in fact very useful. The format of the data displayed on your widgets can be defined on the same data render tab. As before, the type of setting may vary from one widget to the other. Some examples of value formats are predefined here on the corresponding field called cell formatting or value formatting. A best practices advice. We advise to set the format for your measures on the schema side thanks to the format string property. This will ensure that all reports will display the same data format for your measures, guaranteeing consistency throughout your dashboards and avoiding the need to set them manually widget by widget. The default formatting for your measures will therefore be the one set on the schema side. But if you wish to change it, you can do it by entering the desired format on this field. Another important syntax to note is how the data is presented on the graph, not to be confused with the value format itself. For example, the cell tooltip can show the according row, column, and value. Note the syntax with two square brackets around the elements. The tooltip of this field gives information on the syntax. Let's now take a deeper look into a configuration common to most widgets: coloring. There are several ways to color your data, that again may vary among widgets. Single coloring, color palette, MDX properties, conditional coloring, and expression. Single color and conditional are straightforward and self-explanatory, and expressions enables you to directly type your coloring HTML code. Let's take a deeper look into color palette and MDX property coloring. A set of predefined color palettes are available. You can also create your own thanks to the palette editor. The coloring with the palette can be done according to legend, category axis, or cell values. First, coloring according to legend. Here the legend represents the count, therefore one color is assigned for all, as all those values in the graph represent the measure count. Coloring according to category axis. The category axis in this case is the axis with the quarters, therefore the coloring will allocate one color to each quarter. Let's remove the legend as it wouldn't make sense anymore in this case. And finally, coloring according to cell values. This is the case where you want to highlight differences between values from smallest to highest. Usually a gradient is chosen or a gradient between two values representing the minimum and maximum values. Don't hesitate to use the interpolate option. Another coloring possibility is the MDX property color. If you're creating several reports and reusing the same coloring for specific members of your data, you can define a back color property on the cube level, so these members will always have the exact same colors throughout your reports, and no need to redefine them for each new report. This is especially useful for branding if you're selling products that each has a very precise color. This example shows that each Swiss canton has a specific color throughout all widgets, in this case for both the map and the bar chart. Another tutorial video shows step-by-step how to set up this functionality. Hope you enjoyed this icCube tutorial and see you next time.